Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kick It to Scoops. I'm your host, Cooper, the sole admin of AFL information, trade rumors, and results. Got a very loaded show for you guys and girls today on Kick It to Scoops. Now, please smash that like button, turn on the bell for all notifications. I want to aim for at least 20 likes for this video. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Then subscribe if you haven't already. Once we hit 3K subs, I will be giving a prize giveaway or giveaways, and I'm looking at one of the prizes right now. Once we hit 3K, that prize will be delivered. But until then, that's when the giveaway will be. So smash the like button and smash the sub button. If you're new to the channel and you're watching, please subscribe if you haven't already. I think there's about 70% of people that watch that are subs, so I appreciate you. To the 30% are not. Jump on board, get that up to 3K. You're watching, you might as well subscribe, turn on the notifications so you know when I go live, when I post a video, vlog, podcast, interview, anything like that. So smash the like button and subscribe. We'll greatly, greatly appreciate it. And today on the show, the very loyal fan's birthday, Shannon. It's his birthday today. So Shannon, happy birthday, mate. Hope you have a great one. But never fear, guys. Shannon, my very loyal fan, probably one of my number one fans, he will be on the show today or tonight through the tipping part of the video. So stay tuned for that and look forward to hearing special fan guest Shannon. Very loyal fan of Shannon. So happy birthday again, Shannon. Drop happy birthday, Shannon, in the comment section below. He would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And here's the banner, Shannon, for you. Happy birthday, Shannon. Yes, happy birthday, Shannon. Hope it's a good one, mate. And we'll hear from Shannon very, very shortly later in the show. Now, on the show today, we've got the world-famous segment Scoops goes bang on about the Willie Rioli hit on Nathan Murphy and the decision that was given. It was 2 weeks. And Kane Cornes' ridiculous comments on that. And I might even mention the comments he gave about Nick Rioli and Brett Ratten. Maybe. Also go through my team of the week, the heavily debated team of the week, review the rounds that's gone and upcoming. The preview round will be with Shannon. We'll talk with them in my Supercoach Talk, any final thoughts I have. And we kind of do talk with Shannon a bit about some match review things, so we'll get to that on that as well. First off, we'll start off with this. You want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/CooperG. And as I said, if you want me to roast a friend, wish someone happy birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/CooperG. Now, I want to say straight up from the top that I'm trying to get more guests on the podcast. If you know any AFL, AFLW, VFL, VFLW, upcoming draftees in any of the AFL or men's or women's leagues, please send me a message. I'll get them to message me on Instagram, AFL Info Live. It's costs absolutely nothing. And I would love to have more guests on. I keep trying to kind of guess day after day after day, trying to get more content for you guys. It's a bit hard at the moment, but hopefully we've got something potentially lined up later in the week for you guys to see. So please keep an eye out for that. And even the week after that and the week after that. So I'm trying every single week to get more guests lined up for you guys. Not just for myself. I actually care about my fans, unlike some people who make you pay to watch their content or pay to watch their short interviews. Just remember that. I don't charge people to watch. Now, you probably can say Cameo, but yeah, I'm not forcing you to do that. That's just if you want a individualized message for someone, a personalized message. That is different. The content I'm putting on, I'm not making you pay to do. In saying that, memberships are available if you want to be a member. You don't have to be. I'm just saying the option is there. And the perks is on click the join button and you'll see what all the perks are. Now, let's start off with the world famous segment, Scoops goes bang. Oh, Kane Cornes. Seriously, your comments about Nathan Murphy and Willie Rioli incident is ridiculous. First of all, I just want to talk about the individual incident. Forget about what Kane said. First off, I just want to start off with what the incident itself. If you don't know what incident I'm talking about, well, here it is. And quite frankly, Willie Rioli has a bad record and he should have got more than 2 weeks. Here it is. For the people that haven't seen it, there it is. So we look here. Look at him. He's pushing him, and he just gives him a clip in the face. Now, Rioli's got a bad track record. What was the need of that? Maybe Nathan Murphy, he's been involved in this with Caminiti and a few players in the past, but it doesn't give him the right to do that. Rioli's got a bad record at the tribunal. Obviously, he can't control his temper. And what did he whack him for? Unnecessary. Now, at first, I thought live when I was watching that he punched him. He didn't punch him. He slapped him. That's pretty pathetic still. He got 2 weeks for that. And I'm kind of agreeing with that. The Portlanders of today are appealing that decision. So I hope they don't get let off because this is a joke if he gets anything less than 2. He should get 1 for being an idiot and 2 for whacking him. Had he punched him, that was 6+. That was Andrew Gaff levels of bad if he had punched him. So, but Gaff didn't have a bad record. Really does. So 2 weeks is fair. In fact, I would have personally probably given him 3. It's unacceptable. And then you got Kane's comments. I'm going to keep playing the clip here so you can see it. Then you got Kane Cornes saying, look at this incident you're watching right now. That's Nathan Murphy's fault, apparently Kane said. Seriously, Kane? You really think that's Nathan Murphy's fault? Seriously. Embarrassing, Kane. I used to respect what you're doing, that you would never back down from your opinions, and I know you still do that, and that's a good thing I can still appreciate. But these opinions lately are utter garbage. Plain and simple. How the hell is Nathan Murphy in the wrong there? Tell me, Kane. How is he in the wrong? I listened to the clip of you and Lloydie on the footy show. Lloydie gave you a whack. Yeah, Damo backing you up. I don't understand why Damo would do that. But, like, seriously, it's pretty embarrassing if you ask me. How is it Nathan Murphy's fault, Kane? How? And you bring up, like, other instances. It's like, seriously, Kane, just be quiet in this case. Seriously, it's embarrassing. It really, really is. And Willie Rioli should be getting suspended for 2+ weeks. Plain and simple. Obviously, he's now gotten 2. And they're appealing it. Try and downgrade the impact or whatnot to 1 week or off completely. But he doesn't deserve any less than 2. 2 at a minimum. Should have got 3 or 4. But here we are. The AFL to the Kane Cornes and to Willie Rioli. Lift your game. Pathetic. Now, also, Kane Cornes is commenting on Nick Riewoldt, saying about the Brett Ratten comments about he only came in for free physio that Rats said about Rooey. That may well be true, Rats. But he wasn't at the club anymore, so what did you want him to do? He's allowed to have his opinion. Whether you agree or not is a whole different story. Do I agree with Rooey's comments about what he said? Not necessarily. But I'll respect his opinion, not only because he's a great player, was a great player at the Saints, a great person. It's just, he can say that. I don't have to agree with him, but Rats got all defensive about it because he thought he was talking about him and the club. For all we know, he could have been talking about Alan Richardson. But let's just say he was talking about Rats. Rats got very triggered and had to bring up the free physio comment. A lot of people saying that he roasted Rooey. It may look like that, but what do Rats expect? Him to help them? Are you conceding that you're not good enough? And that Ross Lyon got in and that's why you're bringing up that comment about Rooey? I'm sorry, Rats, that Ross was a better coach, or is a better coach than you. Were you treated unfairly by the club? Yes. You reckon that Rooey orchestrated? I doubt it very much. I know for a fact that when Jeff Walsh came in, he's the one that wanted you out, Rats. Not Rooey. He may have had that opinion, but he wasn't the one that made the decision. The club giving you a 2-year extension was ridiculous. It wasn't deserved. Right? Then what happened, and it wasn't run poorly. I agree with you, Rats. You were treated like shit. But what's Nick Riewoldt got to do with it? Absolutely nothing. Pretty disappointing from Rats to say that about a Rooey and a club legend. And the Kane to say that Rooey's not allowed his opinion because he's miles and miles and miles and miles away. I'm sorry, Kane. I didn't know that you had to be within a kilometre of the bloody AFL headquarters to be able to have a bloody opinion, Kane. Plain and simple. Yeah, Rooey's in America. So what? What, he doesn't watch the games? Can't watch the games? Can't broadcast the games? Can't listen to it? Can't do data and analyse it all? I'm sorry, I didn't realise you had to be in the same country to be able to have a valid opinion. He's not been gone for 6 months or so, however long this year's gone for. Doesn't matter. His opinion is more valid than yours lately. You're just on the TV every week and radio. He's not at the moment. Plain and simple, Kane. Lift your game. Pathetic. Rooey is a club legend and a great person. And I've met Rooey plenty of times, a couple of times. To Kane Cornes, lift your game. Pathetic. All right. Now it's time to go through my AFL team of the week. From the back line, the pockets, Harry Himmelberg and Jordan Ridley. Full back, Tom Stewart. Half back line, the flankers, Jack Sinclair and Marcus Winhager. Centre half back, James Cecily. The wingmen, Carl Amon and Andrew Gaff. Centreman, Jack Steele. Half forward line, the flankers, Connor Rosie and Isaac Rankin. Centre half forward, Mitchell Lewis. Forward line, the pockets, Toby Green and Lockie Schultz. Full forward, Charlie Curnow. The ruckman, Darcy Cameron. The Rovers, Tom Liberatore and Willem Drew. Interchange, Luke Parker, Joe Danaher, Sam Doherty and Calamar Chi. The sub, Connor McKenna. And the emergencies, Alex Witherden, Sam Collins, Luke Davies-Uniacke, Mason Redman, Mason Wood, Stephen Cornelio, and Brent Daniels. Now, reasons for these selections. Harry Himmelberg, like 29 disposals as a backman, like 11 marks. Decent efficiency. What more do I have to say there? He had a great game. Sam Collins is probably the stiffest one of the lot. Like 12 intercept possessions, like 9 1%, 17 disposals, 11 marks, and like 3 contested marks. I really wanted to put him in, but you got Himmelberg, you got Stewart, you got Sicily. I really wanted to, and I probably could, but Ridley plays a bit of tall as well. That probably stuffed him up. But that's unfortunately what I've gone with. So he was stiff. But yeah, the reasons for the rest, Tom Stewart, 25 disposals, a lot of 1%ers and intercept possessions, so he deserves a spot on the team despite his team being useless. Jordan Ridley, 28 disposals. His team was pretty poor in the last quarter, but he had 97% efficiency, he had 28 disposals, so he had to be in the team. Mason Redman, you could say, was stiff. He had 28 disposals at height, 90% efficiency as well. I really wanted him in, but he's just been taken out by by Harry Himmelberg, actually. Jack Sinclair, a goal, 30 disposals, key reason why the Saints won. The leaders stepped up in the last, which I'm going to get to in the Saints game when I get to the review section. James Sicily, 28 disposals, a lot of 1%ers, a lot of intercept possessions, a lot of marks. Sicily deserved a spot in the team. Saints need to make sure they stop him this week. That didn't work last time. Marcus Winhager in a new role in the half back line. I wasn't so sure about it, but he had 30 disposals and did pretty well, like 9 intercept possessions as well. So he did pretty well, did Marcus Winhager. Wingman Carl Amon did pretty well on the wing, even though the Hawks choked a 36-point lead. I thought he still did pretty well. Jack Steele, as I said, the leader stepped up, a goal, 33 disposals, 70% efficiency, a lot of clearances, a lot of tackles, 4 tackles I think he had. And it was just key part as to why the Saints won in the last quarter with Sinclair. And Andrew Gaff, despite the team being crap, he kicked a goal, 30-odd disposals. He did pretty good. Alex Witherden was the next Eagle that was probably stiff. He could have played on the wing, off the half-back line. But again, look at the names there. And Sam Collins has missed out. So the half-forward line, Connor Rosie kicked 2 and 28. Yes, I know he played a bit of midfield, but he can play forward, so I put him there. I wanted to fit him in, but it was hard to fit him in somewhere, so that's where he went. Full forward Mitchell Lewis kicked 4 and had 15 odd disposals, was a key part as to why the Hawks had that lead to begin with. Isaac Rankin kicked 2 and 20, deserved a spot in the team. Fortunately, he's done his hammy, so he'll miss a bit, you would think, probably the rest of the year. Unless it's a hamstring strain, he might miss 2 weeks then. Where are we? Toby Green, 3 goals, 14 disposals, destroyed Ben Long before he got tactically subbed off in the last quarter. Could have kicked 5 or 6, and he missed 2 goals completely, so could have kicked as many as 9. So Ben Long was useless and should be dropped. But I already knew that. Should have been the case. But Stephen King, you want the job, you ain't looking good. If you were, no, you were probably no chance already. In fact, you are no chance, and then you just made that sign, sealed, and delivered that that's not happening. Where are we? Lockie Schultz kicked 4, 15 disposals. He had to be in the team. Stockers were crap, but he was decent. Charlie Curnow kicking 10 goals, 20 disposals. Yes, it was the Eagles, but that does not matter. Well-deserved Charlie Curnow. Ruckman, I've gone Darcy Cameron at 45 hit-outs with 15 odd disposals against Scott Lysett. Was the dominant Ruckman of the round. Thinking of Rowan Marshall because of his last quarter, but I think overall that Goldie and Cherry were a bit better than Marshall. So that's why I didn't get in over Cameron. Tom Liberatore, 33 disposals, clearly the best player on the ground for the Bulldogs. 23 contested possessions, 12 clearances. I mean, you cannot tell me that he was not best on ground for the Bulldogs. Plain and simple. 36 disposals, 23 of those contested, 12 clearances and tackles and score involvements. Don't tell me anyone else is better than him because they won't. Plain and simple. Willem Drew, now he only had 16 disposals, but he had 16 tackles, which is a key number there, and he tagged Nick Dacos, who was okay, but nothing special. Wasn't his speedy, bursting best player. Kicked a goal, Nick Dacos, but Willem Drew, I thought he did a good job, and he's in the team. Interchange Luke Parker was the Swans' best player, had 30-odd disposals, it had pretty good efficiency as well. Joe Danaher kicked 2 goals with 20 disposals, had to get in the team. He's done that a few weeks in a row, Joey. Having a great year, Joe Danaher. Could be in the All-Australian team coming at the end of the year. We'll have to wait and find out. Sam Doherty was Carlton's best player along with Curnow. He had 30 disposals, decent amount of clearances and score involvements, and efficiency was pretty decent for Sam Doherty, so deserves one on the team. Now, Cal Archie had about 20 disposals, played a half forward, took some good marks, some key moments in the Brisbane game. So he deserved a spot on the team. He didn't have he's playing as a hybrid half forward. I thought he had a really good game, Cal Archie. It's probably one of his best games in his career. And Connor McKenna, likewise, good run off halfback, but he's the sub. Again, that pack line was hard to bloody get into. Yeah, no Sam Collins, Witherden, McKenna had 23 disposals, kicked a goal. Had a really good game, and he was impactful in his speed. He's part of their chains and why the Brisbane Lions destroyed Geelong. Maybe not by the margin in the end, but in the first 3 quarters they did. So that is my team of the week. Now it's time to go through the ladder, I think. It's time to go through the ladder before we continue on in the rest of the show. There's 5 rounds to go. Plain and simple. That's what the ladder looks like. We got the Pies on top on 64 points, followed by the Power in second place on 56 points. You got Brisbane in third on 52 points. Then in fourth place, you got Melbourne on 48 points. Then this is where it really starts to heat up. That'll be the top 4. Unfortunately, Melbourne aren't playing that great, but they'll get in. So, and I think Brisbane and Port are the only ones that could change from second and third, if at all. So fifth is the Western Bulldogs on 40 points at 106.4%. In sixth place, you got the Saints on 40 points, also at 104.7%, so 1.7% behind the Bulldogs. In seventh place, the Giants. I told you they were coming in. Beware the Giants. The dark horse is no longer the dark horse. They mean business. They are in seventh place, the Giants, on 40 points, also at a percentage of 102.2, 2.5% behind the Saints, and 4.2 behind the Bulldogs, who they play this week in Ballarat. So that is a huge game. And the Saints have the Hawks. In eighth place is Geelong. They're just holding in on 38 points at 121.0%. In ninth place, it's Carlton on 38 points like Geelong, but at a percentage of 116.1. So they're 4.9% behind Geelong. And in 10th place, also on 38 points with Geelong and Carlton, is the Tigers on 99.9%. In 11th place on 36 points is the Bombers. They're 2 points out of the 8 and percentage. The Swans are in 12th place on 34 points at 111.8. They are 1 game out of the 8 and percentage. Then in 13th place is the Crows on 32 points at 113.5%. And the Suns in 14th place on 32%. Crows' percentage is pretty solid. They could get them in, but they need to win almost every game from here to the Crows. And then the Gold Coast Suns on 32 points at 92.3%. And then the rest are officially out. Dockers on 28. In 15th place is Dockers on 28 points, 88.1%. Pretty disappointing if you're a Dockers fan, if you ask me. Had some injuries this year, but pretty poor. Then the Hawks 16th on 20 points. Roos 17th on 8 points. And the Eagles dead last on 18 points. On 4 points. They wish on 18 points. They'd still be second last. But in 18th place on 4 points. The Eagles do play the Roos. In Ratten's last game as interim coach, with Clarko back next week against Melbourne. Wondering to see. Yes, when they will get to that with Shannon later on in the tipping video. A section portion of the show. But gents, comment down below. Obviously, the top 4 is set. The order is whatever. But from 5th all the way to 14th. Realistically, I think the Suns won't make it now. The Crows won't make it now because they got the Power this week too, which I think they'll lose, which we'll get to that in the tipping with Shannon. And then the Swans, I still give them a chance. And then that means Essendon, Richmond and Carlton are a chance as well. But I think in the end, Carlton and GWS playing the last game of the season. I think that may be the game that potentially reveals which team of those gets in the 8. I don't think they both get in. I think personally the Saints have the Hawks and they've got Carlton and Richmond. So 2 sides out after Hawthorn that are in that 9th and 10th position currently. So the Saints' position in the 8 will be all up to them, really, I think, because they're playing 2 sides that are just outside them. If they beat Carlton and Richmond, look out, the Saints will make the 8. Because if they beat Carlton and Richmond and Hawthorn, they should get in because we're 110 already, and they say you win 13, you're in. I think we beat Hawthorn. Should be beating Carlton and Richmond. That gets us 13 wins. And then Geelong and Brisbane, you just kind of hope you pip one of them to solidify your spot even more. And then the Bulldogs at the Giants, and I know they got a few tough games, Essendon, the Bulldogs. Essendon got a few easier games. Richmond and Carlton got some 50-50 games in there. Geelong have got Adelaide and Freo to come in Geelong. But they could always be interesting as well. So hopefully they lose 1 or 2 of them. The Giants, they play the Bulldogs. We need both to lose, but we rather want one, so I'd rather the Giants win. So it's going to be very interesting. The Saints just must win this week against the Hawks. Just win. For goodness sake. Do not lose, because it's really heating up. Now, let's go review the round 19 AFL games. Started all the way back on Friday night. It was, where is it? The Bombers and the Bulldogs. Essendon 49, defeated by the Bulldogs 90. Bulldogs were 41. Plain and simple, Liberatore was the Bulldogs' best play. Bontempelli was pretty solid as well. Waitman and Norton done okay. Ridley, Redman, and Laverde were probably Essendon's best players, but they were just pathetic, Essendon, in the last quarter, really, and may have cost themselves the final spot with this pathetic performance. Losing their percentage has dropped them down on the ladder as well. So, costly, important, and Essendon didn't try in that last quarter. It was a pretty bad effort from them. The next game on Saturday was the Hawks and the Tigers. Richmond 96 defeated the Hawks 95 by a point. Hawthorn choked a 36-point lead at 3/4 time. Inexcusable. It's not the umpire's fault. It's not injuries. No matter who you are and no matter who you're facing, you just don't cough up a 6-goal lead at 3/4 time. Richmond did not play better the whole game at all. No, the Hawks dominated for the first 3 quarters, but they choked a 6-goal lead. Plain and simple. Pathetic effort from Hawthorn. I don't care who you got in your team, who you're missing, how young they are. And I'm sure Sam Mitchell is pissed off that they choked a 6-goal lead. And if he's not pissed off, well then, why is he the coach? Should be pissed off. Should be going, we were good for 3 quarters. Yeah, you were, but you butchered it. Pathetic. How you could cough up that is ridiculous. Chad Wingard had 3 goals and 17 disposals in the first half. Terrific. He was going to be a lock for 3 votes, and he was going to be a lock for the rolling team of the week. They didn't touch it in the second half in typical Chad Wingard fashion. That's why they should be shipping him off. Plain and simple. He was unsighted. That midfield, Warple and Newcomb and McDonald and players like that, Ward, they were just non-existent in the last quarter. And you had Taranto and Bolton and players like that. Matty Coulthard, what a great debut from the sub. 8 disposals in the last quarter. Set up a few goals and score involvements. Had a great first game as the sub, Matty Coulthard. I would expect him to be in the team of the week. I mean, in the Richmond starting 22 this week against Melbourne on Sunday. So we'll wait and see there. But I thought he had a pretty good debut as the sub, Matty Coulthard. Now, next game, it was down at the Gabba. Oh, no, so it was at Marvel first. Well, Carlton and West Coast. What can I say? Another thumping. But again, it was mainly a quarter that stuffed the Eagles. 140 Carlton, 69 in the Eagles. They lost by 71 points. It was like 50 points a quarter time. So that they weren't awfully bad compared to the first quarter for the rest of the game. The Eagles have just got to limit these big blowouts in a quarter, a 10-minute patch. Against Richmond, they lost by 6 goals. They conceded 4 goals in the first 6 minutes of the third quarter against Richmond in Perth. Then 2 goals in the last minute of the game. There's your 6-goal margin there. They could have won that, and they could have won that. And they looked like they could have at one point. This game, I'm not saying this one was similar, but if you're watching the Eagles, they're making slightly improving now. The margins aren't over 100. There's still some big quarters, which is what they need to work on and Simon needs to work on. But Barras out as a laid out did not help. No McGovern this week. Shuey Dunahammy started the game in the first quarter. It's just more injury tolls, and then Sam Petreski-Seaton's got the 2-game ban for a dangerous tackle on Alex Chincotta. So, Charlie Kerniking 10 was awesome. No Cripps and no Chero in this game. They may be back this week for Carlton. Important that they get them back. Mackay won't be back until the end of the year if they make finals. If they make finals, I just don't think they will at this point. But yeah, Curnow was great. Ed kicked a goal late. His brother's got one. The 11 between the Curnows. But yeah, it was a good win for them. Blake Akers did all right on the wing. All in all, a good win for Carlton. In the end, now the game at the Gabba, Brisbane defeated Geelong by 11 points. It was, where's it gone? 64-53, Brisbane by 11. The scoreboard flatters Geelong. I don't think Geelong were terrible. They were down for 5-6 goals for most of the game, and then they decided to turn up in the last quarter. Cameron decided to turn up. Dangerfield decided to turn up. They were pretty bad, and there was only one good player, and it was Thomas Stewart. The rest were pretty useless, to be honest. Brisbane, you had Neil, you had Danaher, you had McKenna, you had Archie step up, and Jasper Fletcher. But unfortunately, Will Ashcroft suffered an ACL and will miss the rest of the season, probably most of the next year. So we wish Will all the best in his recovery. Will Jared Lyons finally get a go in the team? I think he will, and I think he'll get a new 1-year deal unless he wants to leave and go elsewhere. With Will Ashcroft out, I know they could say Fletcher could play with Neil and Dunkley and Zorko and McCluggage and Berry. Still think Jared Lyons, they want to play him. I mean, at least for the rest of this season, he'll get his opportunity, you would think, Jared Lyons in the team. Or does Dev Robinson get in? I think he's going to end up going to the Eagles at the end of the trade period, to be honest, and he's from WA as well. And I think he'd want more opportunity anyway, Dev Robinson. He's too good to be playing in the twos. But yeah, this interesting one. But the Lions are too good. In the end, the scoreboard makes Geelong look better than they were. They were useless. Pretty plain and simple there. The night games, not the showdown. That's this week's Scoops. Port Adelaide and Collingwood. 83 Port Adelaide, 85 Collingwood. Collingwood by 2 points. Jamie Elliott. He ruined Bombers fans last year with that goal after the sign from the boundary about 50 out of the G. He did something very similar, but with 3 minutes to go. From that same type of angle, Jamie Elliott owns pockets at the Adelaide Oval and the MCG. Clutch from Jamie Elliott, kicked 4. I think he did. He had a great game, great kick then. The moment maker is Jamie Elliott. Craig McRae's side get another close win. I think that was their 5th win after trailing at 3/4 time this year. And I think they won 11 of the last 15 games at trailing at 3/4 time. Unbelievable stat. Craig McRae's doing a great job. And coach of the year again is Craig McRae, plain and simple. You could say Ken Inkley is too. And it'd probably be fair enough if he did. But I would say, yeah, it's got to be. And Adam Kingsley's done a great job as well, just quietly, and so's Ross, the boss, Ross Lyon. But yeah, they're the contenders for the Coach of the Year. But yeah, the game, Butters and Rosie in Houston were good. For the Pies, and Willem Drew. Sam Powell-Pepper I thought did all right as well, playing more as a forward this year. I liked him playing as a forward. He's tough. And I think he's playing his best footy of his career, Sam Powell-Pepper, playing as a forward, not as a mid. I thought he was pretty average as a mid, and they should have traded him out, and they were going to. Had some issues off field about fitness and not turning up to trainings and stuff like that. But he's turned it around very well and deserves a contract extension at the Power as well. A couple of years. I think he recently got, actually, but he just had another year on. He's doing pretty well. Willem Drew, Jen McEntee, Francis Evans, Frank the Tank. They called him down at Geelong. He had a real good game, I thought, Francis Evans. Mentioned Willie Rioli's 2-week suspension, so he deserves it, if not more. For Collingwood, Josh Dacos was all right. Yeah, it's got Pendlebury, still side bottom. It's some good games as well. And obviously Jamie Elliott and Darcy Cameron, the ruckman who destroyed Scott Lysette. Now, the game in Perth, Freo and the Swans, Fremantle, they had one bad quarter, a bit like the West Coast. Actually, the WA sides know they'd have bad quarters. Freo 76, defeated by the Swans 105, Swans by 29. It was the Buddy show in Sydney. It was the Luke Parker show. The guys at Keeney show, the experienced guys, Franklin, Heaney, and Parker, stepped up. And for the Dockers, Sarong was pretty good, along with Andy Brayshaw and Lockie Schultz. Sam Sikowski did okay. But, yeah, the Dockers, they're not giving sides the old Heath-O this year. Flag mantle has been dismantled. It's been dismantled since round 1 when the Saints dismantled them. They're right, Freo fans. Don't get upset. It's not your year. Can't be a year every week. It's not your special year. It's not. Now, the next game on Sunday was the Giants and the Suns. It was even. It was 2 points at halftime in favour of the Giants. I thought the Suns, yep, they were in this. I thought they could be in this, but the Giants do have a good record against the Suns. They do generally win by 40-odd points, and they won by exactly 40 points in there. So really disappointing for the Suns. It was the third quarter that stuffed them up. It was like 6 goals to 1, and that really stuffed them there. Sydney at GWS, 103, defeated the Suns, 63, GWS by 40 points. Stephen King wants the job. He's got the interim job at the moment, and that's all he's ever going to get at the Suns or any club at this rate. How you can play Ben Long, who is very average, let's be real, on Toby Green, the best small hybrid forward in the competition by far. And Ben Long is your answer? Really? Seriously? Stephen King, you want the job, it's gone. It was already gone because Hardwick's going to get it, but it's gone. You won't get a job anywhere else with just playing decisions like that. That was embarrassing. 3-4 Toby Green kicked. 2 missed completely. Subbed off a 3-quarter time. Had he played the whole game and kicked straight and had those other missed opportunities that went in, could kick 9. And then he had that other quarter, the fourth. You say he wouldn't kick 5 or 6. Actually, 5 or 6. Then it could have been 11 or 12. That was embarrassing. That's a bad move. Ben Long not dropped. Stephen King just showing that he doesn't know how to coach properly at the AFL level. Plain and simple. That was a bad move. Will Powell, I thought, had a good game, Pally. Noah Anderson had a pretty solid game. Witsy was okay without being amazing. Ben King, what did the Suns have to do with Ben King? He's too good to be playing twos, but at the moment, I think that's the best option for him. I really do. I don't think moving in the back line or anything's going to help. I think he needs to go to the twos. They've got valid options there. They've got Chris Burgess, they've got Sam Day, they've got Brody McLaughlin, Alex Sexton. They've got options there. So I think that Ben King needs to be dropped. I did think I'd ever say that, but I think he does need to be dropped until he can find some form, kick bags of goals, and get a bit more involved. I don't think him going to the back line works. He's a key forward. And they got good defenders, Ballard and Collins and Powell and Weller. I don't think they need to put him there. I don't think pushing him in on the wing or playing him in the ruck is going to do anything or not going to help him at all. You wouldn't want him to get injured because he's a superstar. But this superstar, unfortunately, I think needs to be dropped. Or has he checked out? Has he checked out? Is the Saints banking to the Saints happening this season coming? from Wayne Fighter. I think at this stage, honestly, that he'll stay at the Suns. But with the new coach coming in now, maybe he's pissed off that Stewie Jew's gone and got wrongfully terminated. And how they handled that was disgusting by the Gold Coast Suns, Mark Evans and co. How they treated Stewie Jew. It was at the Ashes, by the way. Very interesting. But yeah, Suns were disappointing. Their final season is mathematically still a possibility. But I think realistically, it's over, unfortunately, for the Suns. Now, the Demons and the Crows at the Adelaide at the MCG, two late changes. Luke Nankervis made his debut. I thought he did pretty solid. Oh, sorry, for the Giants, Toby Green was good. Josh Kelly was good. Harry Himmelberg was good. So there you go. Now, Melbourne Adelaide, great game in the end. Crows almost stole it. Isaac Rankin had a good game, 2 goals. Sorry, guys. I don't know why. For about 10 seconds, it was spinning then. Luke Nankervis on debut did a pretty good job for the Crows. Matt Crouch came in, had a terrific game, like 10 clearances, 28 odd disposals. That's the Matt Crouch we all know and know he's good at. So he had a good game. He should stay in. Rory Laird should be back for the Crows hopefully this week. Rankin will be out. Tex hit the important goal late, but it wasn't to be in the end. Melbourne just steal another close victory in a game they probably didn't deserve to win. The Crows kicked inaccurately. Had they kicked straight, they should have won the Crows. Crows had a close game against Collingwood at the G. They should have won. Jordan Dawson got hit around the neck and face region from Jamie Elliott. Didn't get the free. The Crows have been unlucky a few times this year. But no one's been more robbed than the Gold Coast Suns against Melbourne this year. That was the single biggest, worst umpiring of all time. Now, I never say match fixing. But if you ever say a game was match fixed, it was the Gold Coast Suns versus Melbourne in that last quarter. 8 calls I blatantly, obviously seen. And the commentary agreed with 6 of them. Jason Dunstall and the guys on that call that night robbed. And that cost them the 8 spot. And I said at the time, Gold Coast won that game, which they should have. They'd be 2 points out of the 8. And had they beat the Giants, they would have been in the 8. So just, don't tell me that one game cost a team the 8 or cost them a final spot or anything, cost them something. It does. And that's just a fact of life. Yeah, it's true. Now, the Saints and North Melbourne. St Kilda, 8-point victory, 69-61. Saints by 8 points. All I can say is, like I said in the post, 3 scrappy quarters from the Saints and Roos, but the Saints should be far better than the North Melbourne because North Melbourne are no good. The skills were shit. But then Ross Lyons said pre-game that he spoke to the ground staff and wanted to know why the roof had been open. They had no answers. That's embarrassing. Like he said in the post-match presser, had that been Collingwood and someone or Geelong and someone or Richmond and someone, do you think the conditions would have been put like that? No, they wouldn't have. Who leaves their roof open? A marvel when it's raining the day before. That's stupid. Really dumb. They should be suspended, whoever that was. But yeah, regardless, the skills were crap. It was just little things. Like we started 2 goals straight. So that wasn't the issue first up. It was just the ball use. You go inside fit. These little kicks, 20-metre kicks that everyone was stuffing up. It's not nothing to do with slipping over, just basic kicks. When St Kilda's not a great ball use side, and it pisses me off because we are better than we're displaying at the moment. We're great, happy to be on 6 on the ladder. But God, so just imagine then if we play at our best. We're 6th playing average at the moment. So just imagine if we play great. We should be 4th. We've been better than Melbourne lately. Like, Melbourne have been lucky a few games. We should have beaten them. Ball use and skills and everything. And dodgy bouncing and umpiring against Melbourne didn't help. But that's another game Melbourne's been looked after. What a shock. Melbourne get looked after just as much as the Bulldogs and Geelong do. Or maybe not as much as them, but this year they've been in a few games. Anyway, the ball use was terrible. Skills are frustrating. Great name players were making mistakes. But when it mattered most, the leaders of the Saints, Marshall, Wilkie, Sinclair, and Captain Steele, Jack Steele, stepped up when it mattered. Marshall kicked a goal in the last quarter. Steele did. Sinclair did in the first quarter. Wilkie, some great courageous marks. He did absolutely fantastic and when it mattered the most. Dougal Howard was better this week. Marcus Winay off the ring was great with 30 possessions. Malira did okay. Brad Hill got subbed off early with a rib injury. And he had to go to the hospital for precautionary reasons. So hopefully Hill is all good. Seen in post earlier today that he's okay. So that's good. Hopefully he doesn't miss any games. But Billings came on as a sub, did okay. Filippo, my mate Mateus, all aboard the Filippo train, still that's in full effect. And 15 touches, did all right. Higo was quiet, but he stepped up at the moment at the end when it mattered. Go check my match day vlog if you haven't already. All my emotional reactions, the frustrating moments, the exciting moments, getting angry at the umpiring, stuff like that. Go check it out. Scoops match day vlog. Go check it out on the channel. It's one of the most recent videos on this channel. It was just frustrating, but when it mattered most, Marshall, Sinclair, Wilkie, Higgins, and the Sinclair, Steele, Wilkie, Marshall, and Higgins all stepped up. It was great to see that we got the win. Now, did I say we were great in the game? No, we were pretty average. But when it mattered most, we got the job done. We were rather, clearly, four-quarter efforts and better ball use in over four quarters. It's frustrating, but we stepped up when we needed to. Because if we had lost, the 8th spot would have been out for the round. It would have been harder for the rest of the year. But now we're still in there. So the opportunity is still there. We got the Hawks this week and should bloody win that. We have to wait and see with that. But that's the round just gone. Now, we're going to go through my Supercoach talk. I scored 2,417 in the top 7%. Really happy with that score. I had to play 2 rookies. I had to play Fletcher. I had to play Ryan Marrick this week in place of Cripps and Laird. So it's very frustrating that I had to do that. I've got 3 trades still left. Do I trade Cripps? Do I piss him off? Do I trade Matt Rowell off? That's who the ones I'm thinking of. Here's my team. Will Day was probably one I was considering in Sheasel, but they've done pretty well the last 2 weeks that they have, or 3 weeks. So Dawson, Sinclair Stewart, Nick Dacos, Will Day, and Luke Ryan. Bench, Osen Mullen, Charlie Constable. Mids, Rory Laird, Andy Brayshaw, Lockie Neal, Matt Rowell, Christian Petrarca, Caleb Sarong, Jack Steele, and Patrick Cripps. Bench, Angwin, Fletcher, and Roberts, and Angwin. Rux, Witsy, and Briggs, who played against each other on the weekend. Bench, Ned Moyle. Forward, Zach Butters, Harry Sheasel, Steve Vanillo, Connor Rosie, Tim Tarano, Errol Gordon. Bench, Ryan Marrick, and Blake Drury. Got 3 trades left with 5 rounds to go in the home away season. I might do one this week. I'm thinking of getting Cripps. I've got 70,000 remaining at the moment. So I'm thinking of trading Cripps or Rowell at the moment. I want to get Sicily. It's just not possible. I would have to do 2 trades. I have to downgrade Fletcher and get someone like Matty Coulthard or something. And then that's how I can get Sicily. But there's no defenders I really want to get rid of. I suppose I could trade Cripps, push Will Day into the midfield, and get Sicily that way. But I would have to do 2 trades today. And I don't think I want to do 2 trades. I could do that, but then I'd only have 1 trade for 4 weeks. And I don't think I want to do that at all. So might not, unfortunately, get Sicily in. But that's my team. What trades are you looking at? So trades going into round 20 is a question mark right now. Comment down below your thoughts on your Supercoach team and any advice you want on that. Okay, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. I know fair few of you people in the live streams that know Shannon. We're looking forward to this chat with Shannon and I. Here it is, my chat with Shannon, and we go through our round 20 AFL tips. Here it is. Now, I thought today, ladies and gentlemen, for the tipping side of the podcast here on Kick It to Scoops, I thought I'd have a very special fan guest on the program. His name is Shannon. You may know him from my live streams. He's a very loyal fan. Shannon, welcome, mate.
Thank you.
No worries, mate. And before we go through the tips here, mate, it's your birthday, Shannon. Happy birthday, mate.
Thank you.
No worries. Now, I've known that you're a very, very good tipster, mate. And do you want to tell the audience that you got 9 out of 9 for the round just gone?
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yep, I'm happy with that.
And this is not the only week that you've hit 9 out of 9, Shannon. Is this the second or third time? Is that correct?
Second time I did.
That's very good, mate. Now, we'll move on to the tipping, mate, because we've got no time to lose. So let's go through the tips, mate. It starts all the way on Friday night. at the MCG, Shannon. 7:50 Victorian time. It's the Pies hosting the Blues. Shannon, who are you going for, mate?
I think I'll go Collingwood.
How much do you reckon?
34.
34. An interesting one.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the Pies as well, Shannon. I think they're going to win by 25 points. Okay, now we'll move on to the Saturday games. First is at Mars Stadium in Ballarat, Shannon. It's the Western Bulldogs hosting the Giants, 5th v 7th. This is a big game for the top 8 spot, Shannon.
Mm.
Who will you be going for, mate?
Dogs.
How much you reckon?
I think Dogs get it done by 15. It'll be close.
It will be a close one. Now, also at 1:45 on Saturday in Victorian time at GMHBA Stadium, it's Geelong hosting Fremantle. Who are you going for here, Shannon?
This is a really easy tip. I'm going Geelong to win.
Okay, how much do you reckon, mate?
I think the Cats will get it done by 69.
Okay,
Just blow the
69
Dockers out of the water.
Fair enough. And for the Bulldogs-Giants game, I forgot to tip. I'll be tipping the Giants in what some people may call an upset, but the Giants are in red-hot form at the moment. 6 wins at the last 7 games, I think. So they're in really good form, and they're in the 8 right now, and well-deserved, the Giants. They had a good win over the Suns on Sunday, and they got a great run home to potentially stay in the top 8. As for the next game, Geelong and Fremantle, yeah, I think Geelong will win, unfortunately. Too good for probably 30-odd points, Shannon. But we do know, though, that Dockers have won the last few games at GMHA, or 2 of the last 4 years. They've won 2 games there, the Dockers. So if anyone's going to beat Geelong and Geelong, well, the Dockers know how to do it. But, yeah, they're not in the greatest of form, so I'll be tipping Geelong by 30 points. The next game, Shannon, we're going to go through, mate, is on Saturday twilight. It's the Q Clash, Shannon. It's the Suns hosting the Brisbane Lions. Who are you going for here?
I'll go Brisbane, even though they're going to be without Will Ashcroft for the remainder of the season.
Yes, with an ACL injury, that's not good. Not good at all. We wish Will all the best. So how much are you going to the Brisbane Lions for, mate?
I'll go Brisbane by 40.
40, yeah. Twilight Clash at Heritage Bank Stadium. I'll be going for the Brisbane Lions by 40. The Suns, their final chances are slipping further and further away. They're a mathematical chance. They'd have to win every remaining game from here. If they lose this, it's officially over for them. Then the next clash we're going to go through, Shannon, Saturday night at Marvel Stadium. It's Essendon hosting the Swans, 7:25 Vic time. Who are you going for, mate?
Who did I tip? Let's go for the... Oh, sorry, wrong button.
That's okay. Essendon v Swans, mate, at Marvel. Who are you going for? Who will you be going for in this one, Shannon?
I'll go to Bombers.
The Bombers, how much, mate?
Bombers by... Let's go Bombers by 24, by 5 goals.
24, Okay. I'm going to be tipping the Swans by 25 points. The Swans are in red-hot form. They had a great win over the Dockers on Saturday night at Optus. So I'll be tipping the Swans there. Now, one of the biggest games of the round, Shannon, it's the Adelaide Oval Showdown. The Crows hosting the Power. 7:40 time. Sorry?
Showdown number
I'm not sure the showdown number, but they're always very close. We know about Jordan Dawson earlier in the year. Hurt the Port fans hard.
I know.
Who are you going for, mate?
I know Port Adelaide have won 27.
Yeah.
I think Adelaide have won 26.
Something like that. It's very, very even, mate. But yeah, the showdown. Crows hosting the Power, 7:40 Vic time Saturday night. Who are you going for, mate? Obviously, the Crows will be losing Isaac Rankin to a hamstring injury. Who will you be going for?
No, Willie Rioli is out with a suspension.
For 2 weeks for that hit on Nathan Murphy. Yeah, that's right. Not a good incident. And I mentioned that earlier on SCOOPS Show Spain, which everyone will have left their thoughts already. But who are you going for in Adelaide and Port, mate?
I'm going Port Adelaide. They just lost to Collingwood, and I reckon they'll bounce back.
I think they'll bounce back as well.
Away from the Lions, who are behind.
I think the Power will bounce back, mate, and that may eliminate the Crows from making the finals as well. Rory Laird should be a good in for the Crows as well, all being going well. But I'm going for the Power here to end the Crows this season. Now, the game's on Sunday, Shannon. First, on Sunday at Marvel Stadium, 1:10 Victorian time, it's Hawthorn hosting my Saints. Who are you going for, Shannon?
I forgot. Now, for the Port and Crows game, I'm going Port by 30.
Okay, sorry. Yep. Now, on Sunday at Marvel Stadium, it's the Hawks hosting my Saints, 1:10 Vic time at Marvel. Shannon, who are you going for?
Now, the Saints are coming off a very close win against North. And
Yes, they have. Yes.
Hawthorn coming off a disappointing 1-point loss to Richmond. They choked a 36-point lead.
They sure did, mate.
Blew it.
They did blow it, mate, and they'd be very disappointed. Yes, they're in a rebuilding stage, but they'd be very disappointed of how they coughed up a 6-goal lead. But Shannon, Hawks and Saints, Hawthorn has had some good games lately. The Saints been a bit scratchy, but we're still 6 on the ladder. Who are you tipping here?
I think I'll go to Saints because Cardi didn't tip the Saints. He tipped North.
He did. He did.
Of course.
He changed it.
And of course,
he changed it.
And of course, he will be getting on for his footy tipping video on Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah.
We will keep an eye out for that, Shannon. Yes, on Cardi's channel. Now, so St Kilda, how much, Shannon?
I'm going Saints by 35.
Saints by 35. I'm going to go the Saints by 20 points. It should be a win. We'll have to wait and see what St Kilda turns up. All right, it's also on Sunday at 3:20 at the MCG Victorian time. It's the Tigers hosting the Demons. Shannon, who are you going for here?
I think I'm going to go to Demons because they just come off a 4-point win against the Crows.
They did, yes.
Both teams coming off good wins on the weekend.
And they were in close ones.
Coming off a 1-point win against Hawthorn.
They were. So who are you going for in this one, mate?
I'm going to go to D's to put an end to the Tigers' seasons.
It might not ruin it, but it will hurt it. But yeah, so Demons by how much, mate?
So I'm going to go to D's by 25 and put a dent in Richmond's percentage.
Yes, that's a good point, considering a few teams, Carlton and Geelong, are on the same points with the draw compared to the other teams around. They haven't had a draw. So that's a good point there, Shannon, you make with the percentage with the teams like Carlton and Geelong the same points as Richmond. I'll be tipping Melbourne in this one. With no degree of confidence, I'll go Melbourne by 10 points. In the final game, Shannon, at Optus Stadium, Victorian time, 4:40. It's your Eagles, mate, hosting the North Melbourne Football Club. Who will you be going for? Is your team finally going to get the win?
I think, I'm going to tip the Eagles, even though it is a home game. And before I go through my margin, I was on the Centre Bounces StreamYard earlier.
Okay, yep. So who will you be? How much are you tipping the Eagles by?
I'll go the Eagles by 40 to try and get off the bottom of the ladder.
Yep.
And Sam Pacheco copped a 2-game
ban. He did. Dangerous tackle on Alex Chincotta. That's right, he did. So you know what, Shannon? Because it's your birthday and because it's in Perth, I'll be tipping the West Coast Eagles by 10 points. Shannon, thank you very much, mate, for coming on the podcast, mate, and we'll look forward to hearing you on the live streams with me and everyone else more often. Thanks for coming on, mate.
That's all right.
There you have it. That was Shannon, a good mate Shannon, on the podcast. So drop a happy birthday to Shannon. He's a good friend of the StreamYards and everything like that. So go chuck a happy birthday message down below. And happy birthday, Shannon, because I know you're watching this, mate. So hope you have a great day, mate, and had a great day by the time you're watching this. And we'll chat on the live streams later tonight. My final thoughts, though, gents and ladies, are simply this. If you want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/CooperG. Want me to roast a friend, wish someone happy birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/CooperG. Smash the like button if you haven't already. We're aiming for 20 likes. In fact, I'm going to do a special number. I'm going to changing it. I want 22 likes for this video. Shannon's 22nd birthday, so we want 22 likes for this video. And we would love some more subscribers. If you're new to the channel and you're watching, smash that like button, smash that sub button. Once we hit 3K, there'll be some special prize giveaways, which I'm looking at one of the prizes right now. And also, any more guests I'll get on, you'll be the first to know, Got some more guests lined up in the future, some later this week, some the week after, and some the week after that. At this stage, all going to plan. And I'll be trying to get more guests around those people as well. So if you know any AFL, AFLW, VFL, VFLW, upcoming draftees you would love on the show, message me, say I would like for you to have this guy on and this girl on, whatever. Let me know, and we'll try and get them on the podcast, whether they're at AFL, AFLW, VFL, VFLW, upcoming draftee, anyone that fits in that category, and you want them on the podcast for an interview or a goal kicking challenge, just feel free to message me. Or if you want them to come on and you know them, get them to message me as well. Love to get more players on the podcast and the goal kicking challenges and everything else. Be really appreciated. Till next week, everyone. There'll probably be more videos. There's live streams basically every night. But come on, Saints, get the win. Most important thing of all to remember is go to the Saints and, of course, acknowledge me, the one. And happy birthday, Shannon. Go Saints!